After Saul's failures, the narrative then tells us the story of David's anointing, which takes place in Bethlehem of Judah. God tells Samuel to not look at David's brothers who are tall and strong and handsome, because he can see into their hearts. David is the youngest of Jesse's 7 sons, and is a shepherd. And as we know, God's greatest leaders are shepherds. David is called in from tending the sheep, and God tells Samuel to anoint him as king. The text says that from that day forward, the Lord's Spirit comes upon David and departs from Saul. We then read about David working at Saul's court as a musician. When David would play his harp, the evil spirit would leave Saul. After this, we read about the battle against Goliath. Saul does not engage the Philistines, and there is a stalemate between the Philistines and the Israelites for 40 days. Jesse sends David to the battlefield with some food for the soldiers. When David sees Goliath mocking Israel's God, David does the will of God. King Saul attempts to dress David in his own armor, but David takes it off because it's awkward. David then gathers 5 smooth stones from a brook and uses his sling to shoot a stone into Goliath's skull as Goliath is mocking him. Goliath's armor is described as looking like scales, and the numbers associated with his armor and weapons are all connected to the number 6. So the text is attempting to show through this imagery that Goliath is aligned with evil. Even his height is reported as 6 cubits tall. David cuts off Goliath's head and takes it to Jerusalem. He also leads the army in routing the Philistines. We then read about David as a commander in Saul's service. The people love David, but Saul is jealous and hates David. Saul throws his spear at David and tries to kill him while he's playing his harp, but David escapes. We also learn about David's relationship with Saul's family. Saul's son Jonathan loved David, and David and Jonathan make a covenant, and Jonathan gives the throne to David. We also learn that Saul's daughter Michal loved David as well. David had defeated the Philistines and married Saul's daughter as Saul's reward for bringing him back 200 Philistine foreskins. Oh, what a dowry. Later, Michal saves David's life by making a dummy out of a household god, placing it in David's bed, and then lowering David out the back window and telling Saul's soldiers at the front door that David was sick in bed. We're not sure why David had an idol in his house, though. Before David and Jonathan parted ways, David fled to Samuel. Saul sent men to get them, but the Spirit of God possessed them, and all they could do was prophesy. Saul sent 2 more detachments, but the same thing happened. Finally, Saul himself went, but he too became possessed by God's Spirit when he entered Samuel's presence. Saul stripped naked and lay on the ground prophesying all day and all night. Once again, the text points to this event as one of the reasons there is a saying in Israel, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" At some point, Jonathan saves David's life during a festival. They use coded messages with bows and arrows, and David flees. Saul wonders why David didn't show up to the festival, and when he finds out that Jonathan let him go, he throws his spear at Jonathan, calling him a son of a B-word, or as more polite but less literal translations put it, the son of a perverse and rebellious woman. After David and Jonathan's final separation, we then read about David on the run in the wilderness from Saul. He takes refuge at Nob. Nob is near Gibeah, which is Saul's home base, so he's hiding right under his nose. David receives the support of Ahimelech the priest, who gifts David with the sword of Goliath. A man named Doeg tells Saul where David is, and Saul gets revenge on Ahimelech. Doeg himself kills the priests of Nob after Saul's servants refused to obey Saul's wicked command. Previously, Saul failed to kill every enemy, but he has no trouble killing all but one of God's priests at Nob. The one surviving priest, Abiathar, ends up escaping death, and he joins David.